Predicting Thor's Marvel movie future in MCU Phase 4 Screen Rant. May have passed the leadership of New Asgard over to Valkyrie at the end of, but he still has a future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The God of Thunder, Chris Hemsworth's Thor, is 1/3 of the MCU's trinity of principal superheroes, that is to say, heroes who have been around since Phase 1, and who have had their own standalone trilogies in addition to team-ups. It's safe to say, Marvel Studios has so far been trying to keep the future of the MCU under wraps, though we know about projects like, and of course the next movie in the franchise. Barring any big one of the best ways to forecast the future of MCU actors is by looking at their contracts. Hemsworth, unlike Iron Man and Captain America, who have both been effectively written out of the MCU, Thor's farewell in Endgame clearly sets him up for a new role in Phase 4. If he suddenly now that is back on track with James Gunn returning to direct, it's a pretty safe bet that this is where we'll see Thor next. At the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is, which means that a 2021 release date is possible, but 2022 is more likely. Thor could though we've heard about several projects that Marvel Studios definitely has in the pipeline for the MCU Phase 4, we notably haven't heard anything concrete about the 3 existing trilogies: Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor getting a 4th entry. Ash heard about a pitch for, adding, A side effect of Waititi being everyone's favorite rising star director, however, is that he's very in demand. He's preparing to, after the staggering lineup and epic scale of Avengers Endgame, it's hard to imagine how Marvel Studios would even begin to approach making A, especially since half of the original Avengers are either dead or retired. More than half, if Hawkeye's retirement actually sticks this time. If another Avengers movie does happen, then, most likely featuring newer characters like Black Panther and Spider-Manitoba. However, their Hulk unfortunately is still prohibited from starring in his own solo movies, but he paired well with Thor in Ragnarok. And, of the 6 original Avengers, these 2 seem like the most likely to return in a future Avengers movie. Captain America the Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, and Spider-Man Homecoming have all demonstrated how well having superheroes play supporting roles in each other's solo movies can work, so Thor's team-ups don't necessarily need to be restricted to Guardians and Avengers movies. He could also pop. The one thing we're most certain of at this point is that Thor has a future in the MCU, and with Valkyrie running New Asgard, he's no longer tied down to protecting his home world. The possibilities. Subscribe for the hottest movie, TV, and gaming news. I agree to let Screen Rant send me emails.
Raindrops, drop top, top smoking, no